comes to love, it has everything to do with reality, morality, more reality. If there is no true justice, then there can't be love. So let's explore this idea and how it relates to the story of Apep, the ancient serpent, and how this is a story about the nature of those who refuse to submit to God, and how it pretty much covers everyone but me and possibly my parents. So the children, right, that's the word chill, right, the children of the world serpent. In the story of Shu, you have the story of Apep's desert spawn attacking his palace. Okay, we know that there were sea people that struck, and then historians try to twist what was the form of the attack, but really it was literally an attack. It had many forms, like psychological, financial, and so on and so forth. You also have the Hyksos, right, which is a play on words for hike says. They were magic cart bitches that came in on a chariot. You know them by their works. We know that there are magic cart bitches beyond the wordplay because they insisted on using technology to take over Egypt, which was kind of the trade route center and the center where people trade ideas, including religious ideas. And a bunch of weirdos came up with a non-martial artist religious order, and other people had their own ideas of what the non-martial artist religious order should be. Okay, Set was said to take Astarte, as one of his wives, a story of the competition between Horus and Set, and this goes back to the Middle East and Syria and so on and so forth. Okay, so Set eventually becomes associated with Apep and his desert spawn. All these guys, including the story of the people in the Bible, are associated with the world serpent. It really is that simple when you think about it. Set replaces Abel, right? And these are the children of Set. Okay, they refuse to submit to the true divine order. So obviously the story of the Bible is the story of the God of this world favoring the Jews. Okay, so you have Baal, right? Abel, right? And you have Set. And these two guys are the two main forms of the devil, even in popular culture to this day. The big, bold, mean devil, and the short, kind of jackal-faced, snickering devil. Okay, smoking a cigarette, and so on and so forth. So, by the time we get to the idea of the neo-colonialist extraction of females, okay, we've already seen thousands and thousands of years of worldly people cheating righteous heroes out of attractive women, to the point where even in popular culture you see stories about heroes having to save the damsel. It is something that everyone should know. Evil people in society leverage their Lex Luthor kind of positions and money to get the attractive women, and the good guy misses out. What they're missing is the divine order. So you have the con whore, the con man, the fake Horus. Okay, Khan being a word for Khonsu, is a moon deity, the son of Amen, the prince of darkness. Amen talked about the poor getting their just deserts, and this is a kind of fake paradigm where you have the evil rich and the good poor, when in reality you have the evil rich and the evil poor, because they're all in rebellion, and they all don't have excuses for defying God. The poor have less to gain for defying God, so why would they do it? There's no excuse for defying God, and then you add the element of they're poor. What do they get out of it? The rich, they have the best of everything, as they say, so to speak. And they have the best teachers and so on and so forth, right? They should know better. So basically, you have a bunch of people who should know better, have every reason to serve God and to know better, and they choose evil. And this goes back to being the children of the devil, right? A brood of vipers. The story in its true form is symbolic of everyone on the planet betraying the top martial artist, and I'm the last one, because they're the children of the devil, right? And they become this dangerous type of snake. A viper is a good comparison. Okay. So we see these females being extracted by the neo-colonialists. This is Pocahontas times 10. I mean, who has an excuse for not understanding that you should despise the thought of attractive females going to the rich, going to the neo-colonialists, going to the token minorities? Okay, which includes the drug dealers, right? They go on record all the time and say the government brings the drugs, and and the government's the bitches who have me talking like this, And there's this kind of subconscious, like, it's okay for me to talk like this. Why? Because people are beta bitches. And I'm trying to teach you something. And most of you people go to the education system where people talk like some cheese dick fucking coward. And that's what you see right now, right? You see some degree of that voice here. Because I'm talking to bitches, with all due respect. You people act like cowards who fear the God of this world more than God. Is that not what you are? Present your viable counter-arguments in the comments. To the point where they even insist, and they drug and use technology to the point where I sound like some cheese dick Yale professor, some pussy-ass sniveling coward who turns a blind eye to all the privileged garbage filth that go to their punk-ass schools to become the future leaders of this shithole world. Utterly despicable, utter trash. God despises them. Okay, so it goes back to the word exotic, right? X, right? It goes back to the Chi-Ro, okay? Ki, the Sumerian earth goddess, okay? X, the Chi-Ro, Constantine, look it up. X-O, tick, O, the reproductive cycle that they're superimposing their bitch on, okay? And the tick, right? So they're pissed off because exotic-looking people were more attractive than they were. Part of the reason they brought Pocahontas back is because there was a bunch of ugly, Bruhelde-ass fucking bitches in Europe. Like, hi, guys! A bunch of Neanderthal sluts, okay? And so basically they brought these exotic people that they were raping and extorting back home. And I'm not saying all white people are ugly, mind you, but this is generally the picture that it was. Okay. So you have the feminist solution to this problem of white people raping all these people, and they go home back to their wife like, "Hey, honey," you know, like a stupid Barney fucking Simpson type of bitch. So what do females do? They say, "Hey, you know, if we're going to sit here twiddling our thumbs, playing stupid and not plot on you, you know, in our witch tradition, we're going to need for you to let us in on the hustle." And it translates into them sleeping with other men who are white, because there's an emphasis on white supremacy, white skin supremacy, mind you. Understand the difference. And, you know, that's basically that. You know, this is the modern world. This is American culture, right? Sexualized with an emphasis on favoring white-looking people and exotic-looking females. And every once in a while, some fucking old white female or something has sex with some young exotic guy, and it doesn't exactly equal fucking out. And you're a dumbass if you think it does. Just a fucking moron. You need to wake the fuck up. Anyway, so of course there's the cultural and the social barriers that keep the attractive feminists cheating on their husbands with someone of their own race. Okay, this is the main disgrace of colonialism that is overlooked all the time, is the extraction of the most attractive females. These are the daughters of chiefs, like Pocahontas is said to be, and so on and so forth. You're a fucking idiot if you don't hate them for it. You're a coward if you help them do it. How could it be any other way? How could it? So they built the country with the stolen women and goods. They disenfranchised the world, set up a bunch of puppet dictators and token minorities that they allowed to rule after they pretended to be defeated in the left, so the people would be like, "Hey, we're on board," and act like bitches. Okay, then they say, "Hey, if you don't like this rape culture here, this sex, you know, this leveraged money and corporate illusion-based, tricked, coerced sex culture, go back to that shithole country you're from." I agree. Those other countries are shitholes too. But why are they shitholes? Because you took a big shit in them, and fucking when the smoke cleared, the bacteria in charge were token minority bitch. Anyway, just like America, you know. Well, except for with which bacteria is in charge. All right. So the world is suffering an identity crisis. It's a satanic game and the resulting effort. Okay. We have to consider the standards. What does it mean to be white? There's the clan standard, one drop rule. There's the media standard, which is basically anyone who looks white. And there's the scientist standard, race doesn't exist. Okay. All those standards need to be understood, and how they're used to keep people in check and why. So when we look at the atmosphere, now the resulting atmosphere is absolutely disgraceful. It is abhorrent, right? Abhor, obi, whore, right? A reproductive cycle, gold digging whore, a fucking culture whore, an assimilated whore, you know, a pharaoh. But any female that isn't the divine order is a whore. And it's the same thing for men. If you're not in the divine order, you're whoring yourself. A lot of these guys bend over for Hollywood jobs. They bend over for corporate jobs. They're whoring themselves in various ways, mind, body, soul, and so on and so forth. Okay. So when we look at this thing, right, when we look at the atmosphere, a lot of people say a mantra or some shit, transcend with a thong on or something. They take a bitch-made rap. You are supposed to face your enemy. That's what horror means, face, from the word Horus, right? So either you have the face of the hero, right, with the falcon, or you have the face of the whore. They love superimposing ideas and confusing you about what it really means, like the word honor. Right? Honor is loyalty to Pharaoh and God, or honor as reputation, right? They love that bitch shit. You gotta hate them for it. Anyway, so we look at when you don't focus on women and attractive women, right? Attract, right? Hot, cool, okay, and so on. It has serious consequences. They seep into your subconscious. The effective observer is observing everything in the environment he can, and he's forming an opinion, and he's facing it. I have a bunch of attractive females pass me by right now. I'm not going to be like, hey, don't look at them, because it's seeping into my subconscious, and it's breaking me down. I'm going to say, they're New World Order scum, and I despise them. Why? Because this is the appropriate way to address this danger that's going to seep into your subconscious energy and otherwise. And you better believe there's people that don't want you to see it this way, so that you accept evil. It goes back to the checkered floor and the yin-yang and so on and so forth. And ultimately, when you don't address it, you're starting to be subconsciously and automatically, your automatic behaviors are starting to be controlled by evil. When things seep into your subconscious, it affects your subconscious behaviors, which have everything to do with the decisions and your behavior in general. The decisions you make and your behavior in general. Okay. So not focusing on these attractive women and addressing the atmosphere they're attacking you with, the energy they're attacking you with, is a mistake. Okay. Her and hurt. Her and harm. Right? Her, whore, har, harm. Haru, Horus, her, heros, her eyes. Okay? How she sees things. So when she passes by you, that's an attractive harlot that thinks the top martial artist is beneath her and someone she should reject very quickly, because Satanists have told her so. Because she has sold her pussy to corporate America. I would be a fool not to despise her. I would be a fool to try to say some mantra, think of something else, la 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 la, and let that seep into my subconscious and bring me down. That's how you're held down and brought down. Hold and old, the rich old geezer and the young harlot. So, this is an overt attempt at variations of sexual power, colors, symbols, and association-based attacks to bring you down. And this goes back to who should obey who, right? All these females, everyone should obey the Pharaoh. He's a man. And what doesn't happen? As soon as you remove the Pharaoh, you have a democratization of power. As soon as you replace him. Even if everyone thinks they're obeying that person, so what? They're really obeying their stupidity and lack of brain function and lack of sense. Okay? How could it be any other way? They look at the society and they see it a certain way that has led them to obey someone who isn't the Pharaoh. Or they obey their selfishness, right? It goes back to what a demon is and what a demon isn't, right? And who endures, en meaning a word for Lord, Enki, Enlil, okay? Endure, right? N-D, your E. If you want to endure, your E, evil. Evil, fatty, crafty, sneaky. These are all the sniveling cowards that choose to endure instead of facing their enemy, and nobody has an excuse for being alive except for the Pharaoh. Okay, he's the blameless one. Whatever he does by default is acceptable to right. And when he says obey, right, you are putting your on top of it goes without saying, and on top of that, you're putting your hands in the devil. So when we look at the demons that people are internalizing, okay, they're a demon if they don't obey the divine order. It doesn't matter what mind tricks you. It doesn't matter how well you face them. If you don't obey, you're a demon. You're just fighting off other demons. Okay. So you're feeding the demons you allow to exist within yourself, Or you're a demon like the right or the left, etc., and you're fighting off the other demons that they're trying to push. The right is trying to push the racist demon in that form, and the left is trying to push the homosexual